In this video, I want to look at CleanSpark, I want to look at Iren stock, and I also want to talk about Gary Gensler taking a new approach to the Bitcoin spot ETFs. I do think approval is coming, and there are a lot of things pointing to that, but we're going to look into an article going over basically Gary Gensler's recent words on the spot Bitcoin ETFs. So if you guys get something out of this, make sure you like, subscribe, ring the notification bell. If you want some free cryptos and stocks, check out the links down below, and let's get started. And we're going to go right into this article, and I will leave it down below for you. But basically it says Gary Gensler is taking a new approach to the Bitcoin ETF applications. So for a little bit of context, if you guys remember, previously in a video I was talking about how Congress needs a good reason for these Bitcoin spot ETFs to be denied this time. And because of that recent ruling, Gary Gensler's wording is definitely a lot different. And because of that recent wording, we definitely have a different Gary Gensler here. And he says, we had in the past denied a number of these applications, but the courts here in the District of Columbia weighed in on that. And so we're taking a new look at this based on those court rulings. He goes on to say, I'm not to prejudge anything, and he went on to add that the commission works within the laws Congress has passed and how the courts interpret them. But yeah, basically, if you guys don't remember, essentially the US Court of Appeals said he needs a real good reason. Why do we have Bitcoin futures ETFs and not spot ETFs? And the SEC is talking to all these companies that are applying for these spot Bitcoin ETFs, rather than just flat out denying them. They're actually having discussions now, which is a huge difference than only a few months ago. The SEC is in active discussions now with Grayscale, BlackRock, recently Fidelity, Franklin Templeton, and earlier this week we heard that BlackRock amended their application based on meetings with the SEC. And I think this is funny right here. JP Morgan doesn't expect an approval to move the crypto market, with a recent report arguing that approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF is unlikely to bring fresh capital to the market. I think that's a crock of you know what. And just on the simple rumor of a spot Bitcoin ETF being approved, you guys remember that a couple weeks ago? A false rumor that a spot Bitcoin ETF was approved caused roughly a 10% increase in Bitcoin's price. And even when it was surfaced that that rumor was false, Bitcoin kept its positive momentum. And you could argue from that point in time till now, Bitcoin's appreciated in price. People are already pricing in the spot ETFs. But I honestly think that this price appreciation is simply due to the halving. We have seen this almost every single halving, where Bitcoin does increase in price in the end of the year leading up to the halving. And I want you guys to think about this, okay? Check this out. In December 2019, the year before the 2020 halving, same timeline we're at right now. We're in the year before the 2024 halving. In December, Bitcoin was only $6,500. And a lot of you might not even be aware of that. And only in the matter of a year, the halving year, by December 2020, Bitcoin 3x'd from that 2019 end of year price. But that's not all. 2021 was really the banger year where things really got hot. And if you would have held from 2019 at that $6,500 price all the way into the end of the cycle in 2021, you're talking about nearly a 10x. And December 2019 wasn't even the bottom. I'm just going from that point in time because that's basically where we are based on current halving. And based on previous history, I think it's more than possible, more than likely that Bitcoin will be well over or at least around $80,000 by August of 2024. I mean, that's only a double from here. And we have spot Bitcoin ETFs coming up, very likely to get approved in my opinion. And we also have the halving, of course, which is the whole reason that Bitcoin appreciates in price. And just wait until Bitcoin's incoming supply gets cut in half, only 3 Bitcoin coming in every 10 minutes. Bitcoin is getting more and more scarce. And this potential run from where we are here to 80,000 by August, this is nothing when you think about 2025. By 2025, we could be well into the 6 figures, and 2025 will likely be the year you want to start taking some profits and reaping the rewards of buying through this whole bear market, buying through 2023, buying through 2024. 2025, in my eyes, will be the year to take some profits, not sooner than that. But Bitcoin right now, as it stands, is looking pretty good to me. The RSI has been cooling off. Price has been going up while the RSI cools off. I do think $40,000 is still more than possible to see, but more and more people are starting to see any pullback as a buying opportunity for Bitcoin, and it's been that way for quite a while now. So to me, anytime the RSI isn't overbought is a chance to buy, because we know what's coming in 2024 and 2025. Now, when we start running up a little bit more, I do think this 48,000 is going to be a very important level, and if we break out of that, we could very well take off. And some people might be looking at 2024 as a great time to take profits. I still see it as a great time to add through most of 2024 at least, with 2025 being the time to lock in those profits and not necessarily add. Maybe add a few times in early 2025, but that's when we start getting more towards the top than towards the bottom. So I think 2024 is really the year to continue adding to Bitcoin, taking advantage of any dip, because we will be much higher in price by the end of 2024 and much higher in price by the end of 2025. CleanSpark's looking fantastic. As we continue pushing up, it seems more and more unlikely we're going to see this gap, but I'm still watching for it, and if we do pull back, I will be planning an entry on this gap fill, and it's sitting right in the high 7s. Just yesterday, CleanSpark hit $11. It created a new yearly high, which is very bullish. And when the hype rolls in, every pullback, people are just planning to buy. I think people calling for $2, calling for $3, even calling for $5, it's getting a little ridiculous at this point. And based on the timeline of the halving, based on the fact that we're going to see rate cuts in 2024, the Fed's becoming more dovish, I think these will all contribute to CleanSpark going much higher in price. And one major fear with CleanSpark is the company having to dilute shares on shareholders. And as we get towards more lower rates, that definitely helps the company out from that perspective. And I want to turn you to their last mining update, where they sold their Bitcoin basically at 36,000 average throughout November. What do you guys think they're going to sell at in December? They're going to be right around a 40,000 or higher average for selling their Bitcoin. So December is going to be one of their best months yet in terms of revenue. And we're going to continue to see that throughout the bull market while Bitcoin goes up in price. They're going to continue posting growing revenue just like they were in the previous cycle. And their November update was actually their second highest monthly Bitcoin production, despite there being an increased difficulty and without using more energy. What's going to happen when they start getting those machines going that they're waiting for the energy providers to provide them energy for? They're going to see a huge increase in exahash while Bitcoin appreciates in price. And also they're going to become more and more efficient. They're getting machines that are going to bring them closer towards 24 joules per terahash, which is extremely important when you're dealing with a company that's literally mining Bitcoin and using energy. That energy cost is one of the most largest factors, and to see that continuing to come down is going to be fantastic for their bottom line. But I do expect in the next update we'll see a small increase in exahash, but really in 2024 is when they start getting those Sandersville facilities going. And before I go, I do want to quickly touch on Iris Energy. We've been seeing a little bit of chop pretty much throughout December, and it's basically been in the range of $5 to around $6. I would really like it to come down towards 5 so I can add some more. But even at this price, I think it's a solid DCA if you are looking to build up your portfolio on it. I'm just trying to be a little extra patient, which may end up screwing me in the end. But the chart is becoming more bullish. We're seeing ascending moving averages. We're seeing increased volume while price slowly increases. And once we can create yearly highs, that's when things really go crazy. But it could take a little while till we get there. But thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think about the SEC and what they're going to do with these spot Bitcoin ETFs. I think the writing's on the wall, and it's becoming more and more obvious that these are going to get approved. We're talking about companies that control the world, We're talking about BlackRock. We're talking about these just large asset managers that have a lot of influence. In the end, money talks, and these guys have tons of money, and they do have tons of influence. But regardless of Bitcoin spot ETFs, we also have the halving to look forward to. And to me, that's the big thing here. Spot ETFs are just icing on the cake. But thanks again for watching, guys. Let me know what Bitcoin miners you're adding to recently. What's your plan on Bitcoin? Are you buying here? Are you waiting for a pullback to under 40,000? Or are you just of the DCA mindset? Thanks so much for watching, and have a good weekend.